It's not often I get political on YouTube. Now I'll admit, I've made my fair share of political comments on various videos. I've landed a few sick burns, and regrettably I've said some things that were really stupid. I've been a YouTuber for 10 years, obviously just very part-time. I'm not famous or important by any means. But while I've made my fair share of political comments on YouTube, for the first time in 10 years of being on YouTube, I'm making political content. What I'd like to talk about today is vaping. Personally, I'm not really into it. There's a bit of a negative stereotype associated with it, the Chad Broskis of the world, but big deal. It's whatever, to each their own. But what I want to talk about is there seems to be a bit of a move by the US government, as many of you know, and I would like to ask, should we ban vaping? Now I have a little bit of food for thought that I want you all to take into consideration. We've seen a handful of deaths, maybe a dozen now, tops, in regards to vaping, and while that is a tragedy, it's terrible, and my heart goes out to the families. I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes or insult anyone by any means. This is not a shitpost. This is not meant to be insulting to anybody. But these were decisions that people made, and unfortunately they were not good decisions. In spite of that, should the government get involved in the decisions of other human beings? Should they take certain rights away from other people that they had? Now, if we take into account cigarettes, the story is just a little bit different. Now, in the United States, every year about 38 million packs of cigarettes are sold every day. It's a pretty impressive number, 38 million packs of cigarettes a day. You know what makes it even better? The average in the United States for taxation on cigarettes, $1.70 a pack. We're looking at almost $59 million a day in tax revenue. Now, as you all know, the jewels and the vapes and the little tubes with a button that you push with little batteries and coils and things, the idea for some is that's supposed to be like the safe alternatives to cigarettes. Now, I know it uses something called glycol, which is mildly toxic in comparison to whatever the hell is in this crap. But it's not good for you, and obviously if you down a shitload of it, which if you do that with anything, it will probably kill you. But here's the deal. Vapes are not taxed the same way that cigarettes are. $1.70 a pack. With vapes, with food, with a lot of things, we're looking at a regular sales tax rate on pretty much every product you can buy in the United States. Regular sales tax. But cigarettes, they get a crapload of tax put on them. Now, if everybody were to start vaping and drop cigarettes, the federal government would be losing millions of dollars a day. We can't have that. And better yet, there's a lot of links to cigarettes and cancer. Now, as you know, cancer makes a lot of people a lot of money. And the less cancer that we have, well, the less money that some people may have. Interesting. So now all of a sudden, it seems to be morally right to ban vaping because it killed a few people, but we want to ignore cigarettes for some reason. I guess because it's our fundamental American right as Americans to have those sweet, sweet American-made cigarettes. And I have to wonder, is it really a fundamental right, or is it a fundamental gravy train? Personally, I don't think we should ban vaping. The same reason I don't think we should even ban guns, because it's the people that used it and abused it and brought it on themselves. And for the rest of us who might be just the least bit responsible, or at least responsible enough to take responsibility for our own decisions, I think it should be alright. Don't you? So in conclusion, should we ban vaping? Absolutely not. Unless you work for the government and you stand to lose a lot of money.